Hi there, this is Karen with Mini Math Lessons. Today's lesson is on rotations, basically the beginning understandings of what a rotation is, and we're going to do this through exploring rotated figures, comparing them, comparing measures, comparing angles, those types of things. So I'm in Classpad.net. If you don't have an account, I recommend that you get one, and in the video description below, I've provided the link to the free activity. So paste that in your browser and it should bring up the activity, which you can work on with or without an account, completely free. If you want to save your work or modify the activity, make it your own, make sure you have created an account because that's the only way that you can do that. But we're opening up the account, and this one is on rotations. So at the beginning, there's a little bit of a description of what we're going to be exploring, which is rotations, and then a definition of what a transformation is. And we're now going to explore this specific type of transformation. So as you scroll down, you can see that the image here is of a triangle ABC that has been rotated around a point R, rotation point. And it now has this image, so preimage and image, A prime, B prime, C prime. And basically we're going to explore what's the same, what's different, what is a rotation doing to the original shape. And to do that, we have here a rotation slider. So D represents the angle of rotation, the degrees that the original has been turned, rotated around this point of rotation. So you can move the, and we'll just hit animation here so you can see it. So you can move it and explore what's happening. So as my angle of rotation gets bigger, I'm further away from the original start. And so I'm going to stop this here. Students are going to explore, when does the rotation, what degree makes the rotation be on top of itself? So they can explore this manually. So look, now I have both of them on top of themselves. Is that the only place? So exploring what these angles of rotation do. There's down here along the side, you'll see there's directions and then questions about what they are seeing. So they're going to be doing something, exploring it. For example, they can explore what happens if I change this point of rotation. Sorry, there we go. What happens if I change the point of rotation? Well, it seems that it gets the closer the rotation is to the original, the closer the rotated image is. So they can explore things like that. Is there a way for me to get this image on top of the other? So they're going to be exploring all of this. What happens if I change my original image? Well, the rotated image changes exactly the same. The corresponding angles and points change exactly the same. So things like that is what they're exploring. Then there's a bunch of these hide show buttons here, which then have them explore rotations a little bit further. So if I were to click segments, what they're going to see here is the corresponding points connected with segments to that point of rotation, right? And what they're hopefully going to notice is that all of those corresponding segments, have the same length. So basically the images are the same distance away at each point from the point of rotation. That's something we want them to figure out. So they're going to look at segments, they're going to look at angles, and again, they can explore all of those things. And whoops, we want to make sure that we have the angles and the segments at the same time. So they're going to explore the angles, and what do they notice about the angles? Well, gosh, it seems to match our angle of rotation. So the angle between the corresponding points seems to match my angle of rotation, so that's an interesting thing. So then again, they just are exploring all these things and writing down their observations. So they're going to look at the sides, corresponding sides, they're going to look at corresponding angles, they're going to look at the end, circles. So each corresponding point is connected by circles, so that's an interesting thing. How does this circle understanding connect to my angle of rotation? We could add in our segments, and what do we notice about those segments? Well, those happen to be the radii of a circle that joins the corresponding points. Lots of different observations that they're going to be able to make just by hide show, moving things around. So as they're doing this, they are writing down all of their observations here and basically coming up with kind of a comparison, a list of attributes that they've noticed about rotations. And so from this, they're then going to come up with their own definition or description of a rotation. What does a rotation do? What are things that happen when you have a rotation? Those types of things. And at the very end, we're going to ask them to explain why they think a rotation is called a rigid transformation. So all of this is just exploring moving things, dragging things. Part of the dynamic math software abilities is the ability to quickly move and change and see what's happening. So that's what this is about, and hopefully at the end of this exploration, students will have an understanding of what a rotation is. So have fun, and I'll see you in the next mini lesson.